Hi, I'm here at the International Startup Festival in Montreal, and we're here on day 3. And I've just bumped into somebody we interviewed, about a year and a half ago in Helge, and you had just launched Tandem Launch, and you're further ahead today. So how's it going?
Great, thanks for having me, Kristina. So when we met a year ago at Startup Festival, actually it was at Capital Innovation a few months before, we just launched our company as a way to invest in early stage technologies in the university sector, bring them up to speed, incubate them, and then effectively launch them as either product or licensing companies. And so since then, we've made over a half dozen investments. We have the first few portfolio companies that are profitable, that are running their own ways as successful product companies, and a few others that are starting to bring their technology to the big consumer electronics players like Samsung or Sony and so forth.
What kind of startups have you been looking at?
We really build our startups. So we go to universities across the globe. We find technology that we believe is going to be of high value in the consumer electronics industry, and then we build companies around those technologies. So we work with the inventors to staff them, to finance them with our own staff, with our own capital, but basically we build companies. So it's not that we're looking for ready-made ventures, we really create ventures. The type of companies create are consumer electronics companies. For example, there's a few around here, things like display technology, camera technology, image processing, music, audio type of technologies, gaze, eye tracking, motion tracking, gesture tracking, those kind of things. And because we operate globally, we have quite a diversity. I mean, the companies all come to Montreal, they're all here in Montreal, but the technology comes, in our case, 2 from Canada, 1 West Coast, 1 East Coast, 1 US, 1 UK, 2 Germany, and an Israeli one that's just kicking off. So it's a happy group of different people.
Sounds exciting now. Is there a couple that we need to know about?
Sure, there's lots of them. I think the problem is none of them will forgive me if I don't mention them, but I'll give one example. So our oldest investment, the one that we made, actually just when we met last February, the company's called Mirametrix. They develop gaze tracking solutions for the consumer market. So you have to imagine a television that knows where on screen you're looking at, wherever you are in the living room. And so it knows where you're looking at. You can use it as an interface device. You can use it for analytics, for product placement, for marketing, for all sorts of information processing applications. And that's the company that is it's profitable and doing quite well. They're sort of left. They're not quite out of the system yet, but they've become their own. They've left the nest, and they're slowly going off on their own. And then the other ones are still a bit earlier stage.
Now you're looking mostly at universities, but here we are at International Startup Festival, forgive me. What are you looking for here?
Really just to see what the community is up to. I mean, we're not here looking for investment opportunities. I am an active angel investor, so maybe privately I'll talk to a few companies. But really, this event is so powerful for the community. It brings together so many people. It brings the Montreal community together, and then it adds entrepreneurs and investors and everything else from the outside world, which gives this really strong cross-pollination. And it's just a good way to build synergy. One of the things I spent the bulk of my career on the West Coast in Vancouver and Silicon Valley. So when I moved here 3 years ago now, one of the things that struck me is that the Montreal ecosystem is still not, at least at the time, still not anywhere near as unified as, for example, the San Francisco ecosystem, where really even competing companies will often be like in the same building, meshed to each other, helping each other, and that's something. The more we foster that here, I think the stronger the local community will become.
Well, it's been great catching up with you, so I'm going to let you go to enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thank you, Kristina. Enjoy the festival as well. Thanks to be here.
Thank you. I've just met Rob and Megan from Twilio here at the International Startup Festival. How are you doing, guys?
Oh, doing very well. Thank you.
What do you think about the Startup Festival this year?
Man, so far it's just been a lot of fun. In our line of work, we kind of hear about these emerging tech ecosystems like quite a bit, and we've always heard about something really interesting going on in Montreal, and I feel like Startup Festival really captures that in just a very unique way. I mean, I've seen a lot of amazing tech here, like a lot of strong tech that's tough to do, like augmented reality, and saw a startup that was doing some really interesting things with helping veterans get jobs, and I mean, it's just like very high ambition, very swinging for the fences, and a lot of high energy. I just think so far it's been amazing.
Great ideas to make a difference in this world.
Indeed.
Speaking of great ideas, Twilio, tell us about it.
Ooh, Twilio is a great idea. So the way I pitch it is we're your very own programmable telephone company. So we make it very easy for web developers to send and receive text messages and make and receive phone calls directly within their applications.
So how does that work?
Magically through the power of the cloud. So the whole idea is you take a regular phone number like you would have for your phone, and we make it so that phone number can do a huge amount of powerful things in the cloud. So anytime someone sends a text message or makes a phone call to that number, we make a request to your web app. Your web app tells us what to do with it, and then you can do all sorts of crazy stuff. Like you could do gather their keypad information, so you can dial 1 for Rob, and 2 for Megan. You can have them record voicemails. You can dial all of us into one conference room so that we can all talk together. You can dial other phone numbers. You can dial internationally. You can do all these amazing things that were previously only available when you bought these big proprietary pieces of hardware. And we just make it completely free to get started, and you just pay for what you use. Like total cloud computing.
What's the business model behind it? How do you generate revenues?
So it's all cloud computing. So very much the same way that Amazon Web Services was kind of revolutionary in the sense that you paid for the web infrastructure you use. With Twilio, you just pay for the telephony usage you do. So text messages are 1 cent coming or going in the United States and Canada. Voice calls are 1 cent a minute inbound, 2 cents a minute outbound, 3 cents a minute for toll-free.
Well, it looks like you're onto some exciting ventures, and is there a lot going on for the future? What's coming up next?
Well, the big part of our story for 2012 is really international. So yesterday we just announced global SMS from the United States and Canada. So for all your United States and Canada phone numbers, you can touch over 2 billion pockets, 2 billion different consumers who are using SMS or voice across the world. And we continue our expansion with phone numbers in Western Europe and Central Europe. We just turned on a beta for Germany. We are GA in Italy. We have voice and SMS in the UK, France, Poland, Portugal, Spain. It's Ireland, which made my mom happy. It was really great.
So I'm a big Skype user. Do they need to worry, or are they a potential partner?
I think they are a fantastic partner, and we'd be willing to talk to them anytime.
Skype call them. Thanks so much, guys. It was great meeting with you.
Thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate you having us by.
Thanks. Good luck.
See ya.